Alrighty, this is the second video, and this is an excerpt from my book. And it's about, I was in this part right here of the book, I was talking about, you know, I was seeking about whether God is truly loving and merciful and fair to all of his creations, all of his creatures, not just us. But this is what I wrote. At first glance, one would conclude that God, the creator, showed favoritism to free will beings or creatures opposed to purely instinctual and especially hive-minded creatures by giving them choice over their actions and decisions at all times, meaning us, free-willed creatures. So as a result, that would appear to be an argument for a case of the creator being unjust, unfair, unloving, or uncompassionate to one of his creations, the ones who are not free-willed, because it's like they just live by instinct, or they have to do what their biological inner clock tells them to do. However, this is not so. And I found in my understanding of my observations that our creator is just and fair, because everyone and everything has its day and point in time to serve the Most High freely and willingly, if one can accept this. But one must learn the mysteries. But in any case, it is my view that both extremes have their strengths and weaknesses. But as for what's best for the sake of mankind, humanity, the free will option is the best option that appears to equate to fairness and being just. For it allows us individuals to find and make our own path through life, thus seeming like the fairer, more loving choice. There is still one big lesson for humanity to learn from these seemingly lesser creatures, though. And that, my friends, is how insects living in a hive-minded colony respond and react to any forms of threat or disease to their societies. Indeed, I perceive this very realization is the reason I was led down this path by God to study the workings and interactions of hive colonies in the first place. In short, for those not in the know, anytime a threat enters within, say, a colony of bees or ants, all available and able-bodied residents react immediately and in unison together to respond to the threat of the whole and neutralize it. And reacting in such a swift and uniform manner ensures in almost every instance that the hive is defended and with the least amount of casualties to the colony. And it is an automatic reaction. Now, it is my personal assessment that were humanity to adopt similar circumstances as hive insects in regards to things like violent crime and poverty and hate and, let's say, natural disaster relief, our world would be healthier, happier, safer, and more filled with love and positive energy. And that will be a great leap in the direction mankind as a whole, race and species needs to go to rise above our current state of being. Now, mind you, I'm not suggesting that us humans should lose our free will and choice to decide. I'm saying we should freely, willingly do this service for the betterment of the whole. An example, let's say the laws of a land are set in a particular place. All the inhabitants of that land are bound by the laws thereof. So, if someone breaks said laws, they should be disciplined according to the laws and judicial system in place in that land. However, in regards to things such as hate crimes, racism, theft, robbery, rape, and murder, universally agreed, wrong, harmful, and unjust actions, any and every available, present, able-bodied, and minded person should automatically, instinctually react to such threats, because a society behaving in this fashion would eventually eliminate its crime element and create better, higher-minded citizens within it, morally and ethically speaking. Look at it like this. Some people have much more food, money, and possessions than they need to live healthy and comfortable lives, while many people in the world don't have enough food and money to live healthy and comfortably. There are single individuals with enough money to feed millions of starving, needy people, but yet they won't. But let's say that if everyone chose to equally share their goods and possessions with everyone else, this one shift alone would make poverty and starvation a thing of the past, and would eliminate the need for some crimes such as theft or robbery, an example, because people wouldn't feel the need to steal and take what is freely given to them. So it is behaviors such as these that humanity can benefit from adapting from the hive. while other characteristics of the hive would cause us to devolve. In the end, though, it was my personal findings that the Most High is true, just, and fair at all times, for he has created a check and balance and polarity for all things in existence. And I have found that everything has its place in time to shine by serving the whole of creation, which is actually him, God. Amen. So yeah, that's just a little food for thought, something to think about, man. You know, if we all come together and start to move in unison against certain things in our world, we could eradicate these things. It is only because we all don't know about the dissolution of the ego. We all think that we are disconnected and separate. When I told you all, separation is an illusion. We are all connected. We are all connected. When we say I, me, you know, them, things like this, that is a wrong way of thinking. That is error. There is no I, me, we, us, them. It is, we are all one. We are all one. We are all parts of the whole. We're all one big system, one big extension of God himself. So when you learn how to dissolve these different thought processes, if we could all do it, we could come together and we could, you know, eradicate a lot of bad in our world and do away with things. Now later, my next video will probably be about the New World Order or the One World Order, and I will tell you all why I am both a proponent. You know, I am an advocate for it and an advocate against it, and I'll tell you all why. I'll explain why in my next video. All right, that's it for today, folks. Hope you all have a good day. Love y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.